guys, in this video we are going to talk about how to balance alpha masculinity with vulnerability. So you know how women are always like, oh, I wish he was a better communicator. I wish he was all these feminine things. But then as soon as you are, she gets turned off and leaves you. Well, this is how you do it so that she doesn't leave you, but you still get to express your emotional vulnerability. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. I'm a dating coach for men. If you haven't already, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my Just the Tip Tuesday videos. Let's get right into it. Number 1. Be unapologetically, confidently you. So whoever you are, be you unapologetically. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. There's the door if you don't like it. So I say that kind of with a bit of jest because a lot of the guys who are super masculine, super alpha, they already have that attitude, but they don't have the balance of the vulnerability and they're busy hiding or suppressing necessary emotions. And the guys who are beta end up in the friend zone. So where's the balance? The first thing is to know who you are, know thyself, and be unapologetic about who you are. If you know who you are, you like who you are, and you're not going to change who you are essentially for anyone else, that's a really, really good starting point because that is sort of the launching pad for being able to be both masculine and vulnerable. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, don't give it to her all at once. So what I mean by that is that vulnerability and sharing our vulnerable side is something that should be doled out over time through trust and earn, not an urn with like dead person dust in it. Earned as in she's earned your trust for you to be able to express a level of vulnerability. So you don't dish it out all at once to any old person who will listen, because that's something that's should be shared only with those who you really trust. And women should do this too, but it's more accepted for some reason that women just are allowed to express our vulnerabilities to anyone who will listen. I'm certainly guilty of it myself. But it's something that men don't seem to be able to get away with. So because you can't get away with it right now, then you shouldn't. So don't just unload on her all of your troubles and all of your deepest worries and fears and all of the feminine things. Don't do that all at once. And another side note on that point is that if you don't reveal it all at once, then she will feel honored when she's earned it. So it's kind of like, you know, a woman who spreads her legs for any Tom, Dick, or Harry Johnson you're not going to feel that you're this guy who's special, right? Like if she's a hoe, then she's a hoe for everybody. But if she's holding out and you've got to earn it, then you're going to feel special by the time you get it if you're willing to wait. So same thing with vulnerability and men. If you just give it to anybody, she's going to think, oh my God, he does this with everybody. But if you can maintain your masculine frame and give her little bits as they are deserved, then she'll feel that she's earned it, and she'll feel also honored that you've allowed her into that space. Now, it's not that you're going to do it all the time, and that you have to maintain these other masculine qualities in order for it to balance itself out, for her not to think that you're a child. Which brings me to tip number 3. You have to have standards, you have to set boundaries, and you have to follow through on consequences. So when you can do that, then she'll know that you're solid in your foundation as a man. You are grounded in your masculinity so that she doesn't see you as having to be a child that needs to be nurtured or to be mothered. There's a big difference between nurturing and mothering. If a woman gets to a place where she feels like she has to mother you, sexual attraction goes way down. Women naturally want to nurture, and if you've done it right, she'll want to nurture you when you express your vulnerability. But if you've done it wrong, she'll feel like she has to mother you to help you fix whatever's broken in that area of your life, and that will turn her off. So big difference there. So maintain standards. First of all, you got to know your standards, maintain boundaries, and follow through on consequences, and she'll know that she can't get away with anything, that you are a man who will stand grounded in who you are and what you value. Okay, tip number 4. Have and maintain a solid group of friends, or even a friend or two, who you can share your vulnerabilities with so that you don't have to unload on your woman. Remember, it takes a village. What used to take a whole village to maintain relationship and our deepest needs, now we're putting on our partner exclusively. And that's not fair and that's not healthy. So you've got to have some relationships, preferably with men, who you can share intimate conversation with. I don't mean that you're going to talk dirty to them. I mean, you're going to share the things that you want to be able to express to your woman so that you're not just expressing those things to her. So if you have a really good guy friend or a family member or a counselor or a group of men, I'll give you a place to find like-minded, open-hearted men where they're not going to judge you or make you feel like a cuck. Cuck, is that what you call it? Where they're not going to make you feel bad for actually having feelings or fears or vulnerabilities. I'll give you that at the end of the video. But if you have people like that, start challenging your comfort zone by letting them in a little bit. And they might feel uncomfortable or awkward about it. Some guys are never going to go there with you. But if you can find a group of guys, or even a guy or whatever, a friend who is not your woman, don't go for another woman, because then you're just going to build up a relationship that's inappropriate. So stick with the guy friends for this. And that way you can actually unload some of your emotional vulnerabilities that you need to unload and should feel healthy unloading, whether it's sadness, grief, despair, or sometimes even anger, where it's safe and yet it's not going to completely impact your relationship as well. Here's another little side note for this tip, is that when you maintain a little bit of mystery because you're withholding, I don't like the word withholding, but because you are saving your primary relationship from some of the TMI details, the too much information details about your vulnerabilities, then that mystery will be enticing to your woman. So leave a little bit of mystery, share some things with your guy friends that you're just not going to share with your woman. Okay, tip number 5, 4, 6. What tip are we on? Just the tip 5. We were on tip number 5, and tip number 5 is just that. Maintain some mystery. Because again, the unconscious perception she has of constant vulnerability unloading will cause her to feel like you are a broken, needy man, and that will trigger her maternal instinct, which shuts off her libido for you. So, delicate balance. Maintain the mystery. And number 6, possibly the most important tip, just the tip, that probably a lot of guys have been failing on. And this is the key point that will either have her stay or go. You need to, after releasing a moment or a conversation or some amount, you're in a session of vulnerability with her. After that, as soon as possible, instead of retreating and feeling like a child, which might feel safe at the time, but it's going to turn her off, you need to get out and reclaim your masculinity by some form of masculine action. Get the heck out in the backyard and chop some firewood, or go play hockey with your buddies, or go dirt bike riding, or go watch a ball game, or go hang out with the guys and drink too much. Okay, don't never drink too much. Anna Jay did not encourage you to drink too much. But go do something that's going to reclaim your masculinity, not just in her eyes, but in your own eyes. You need to get back on the masculine horse and reclaim that so that you can reestablish yourself as a man instead of getting stuck in that felt safe. I think I'll be a little boy for a while. No, women are not attracted to little boys unless they're really messed up. So if you want your woman to get wet for you, then you need to get back out and just do something that's very manly. Work on a car, work on a motorcycle, go for a motorcycle ride, anything in that nature that every feminist will say is sexist, and I was going to say male feminist, but I guess they're a feminist. So yeah, doesn't matter. Do it. And particularly, you want to be doing this without her. So there needs to be a little bit of distance so she can miss you. There needs to be her knowledge that you're out doing something manly and masculine, because masculinity and femininity are two opposites. There's a polarity there. So you have to have that distance in both physicality and emotionality between masculine and feminine for you to be able to have that elastic band effect where she wants you to spring back to her, she wants to spring back to you, and you can maintain that equilibrium in the relationship where you feel safe to be able to occasionally share vulnerable aspects of your psyche, and it doesn't disturb the attraction factor in your relationship. So leave a comment. Thanks. Bye.